we'll go ahead and start. I think we'll go ahead and start now. Just as a note, as we go through the meeting, we are recording the meeting, which I notice we don't have a PA set up today. So speak loudly and clearly so that we get it all. It's good. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. Chairman Farley. Here. Kevin Daniel. Here. Christy Durant. Here. Mary Griffin. Here. Connie Martin is excused. Michael Lumber. Here. Patty Ortiz. Here. Chuck Owsley. Here. Mariah Pepe is absent. Alfred Petros. Here. Alfred. Alfred, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Bob Rail. Here. Cheryl Ravens. Here. Michelle Romero.
Present.
Didn't forget you. Leroy Salazar. Here. B. Shell.
Here.
John Taylor. Here. We have forms. And was that vote that? Vote did you?
Yes, it was me. It's children.
Great, thank you. All right. First order of business is the approval of the agenda. And again, my apologies for some of the confusion as I indicated in my last note. The presentation was too long, it was too short. I'm going to propose one change on the agenda, which is the third bullet under B. Maybe it would be under B, maybe it would be under C. Measuring the success of the president is really something well down the road from what we're doing now. So I would take that off. I know Kevin had an issue with the raise about sort of a forum, and so I wanted to put that in so we can talk about that and kind of consider that together. Is there any objection to that change to the all right, so then with that change, I would say, is there anything further to the agenda? Any changes? Okay. Seeing no objection, we'll accept the agenda as amended by unanimous consent. So the first thing is the approval of the May 19th minutes. I hope everybody had a chance to look at those. Are there any changes to that? I actually have one at the top of page 3. We're talking promotion of the intuitions HSI status. I'm going to take a stab at it, call it institutions. So with that change, is there anything else on minutes?
Just the very last sentence on page 4.
Page 4, okay.
The very last sentence before the agreement.
Just
the wording. We expressed our opinion that their programs are a good opportunity for both growth and recruitment for at stage or for them.
All right, we'll pick up the word B. So those two changes, any objections in accepting the minutes? All right, those are approved. So let's turn to the draft position announcement. And I guess the easiest way to do it is if I have a copy in front of them, I have a couple of extras if somebody needs one. No?
Yeah, one next to it.
Yeah. So maybe I'm trying to think about best to do this in an orderly fashion, maybe paragraph at a time. Kind of do it that way. So the first one that's headline institution, any comments, questions, concerns?
I think the numbers are off. All 2013 saw 2,275, and the next is 2,500 on August. So we're living in
But it also says 900 graduate. I thought that same thing, Kevin, and then the second sentence mentions a graduate.
That makes sense, but I don't think that 2,500
Not right.
yeah.
the first two numbers are right.
Yeah.
And they have a capacity of 2,500.
You have a
But I don't know what the number is of living in house. I would think it's
well, is there a number that we safely can put in that can be accurate? 2,000, to the nearest 100, can we say?
Yeah.
So I can try to get a number.
Yes, there's a question on that number, it's going to be accurate on that. Yeah, that was in the previous draft or something. Okay, anything else in that paragraph?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Too detailed, but I think the sentence, 1/4 of the students are enrolled in the university's non-graduate programs. I would take that sentence out and go back up to, today is a full university offering 50 areas of undergraduate study as well as 9 master's degree and 9 master's and 1 doctorate program. That way you see the number of programs altogether, and you don't have to go back and the number of graduate programs.
Maybe you strike the sentence about the 1/4 of the students.
Yes, I think so.
Exactly. For an announcement at this point, we're mainly just trying to draw interest.
Yeah.
There's not having enough detail.
Yeah.
So
I'd be fine with striking that sentence.
So.
Paul or Jay,
Yes,
is there a way to raise my hand on the phone?
I think this is the best way that you just did.
Since the 90-acre campus hosts 54 buildings in 2015 will complete $4 million in 2015. Or is that over the course of the last 2 years?
That's my understanding. Richardson, right? Several.
It makes it sound as if it's all happening in 2015.
Well, if you're doing construction for, let's say, a 10-year period, if you're finishing in 2015,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And in 2015 will, what you're saying is just confusing.
I'm open to something. I think it's helpful to show that we're doing things with our physical plan. And that's obviously the 84 million is significant. So
Is that, it would be appropriate to indicate over the last decade, if that's one, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I guess Bill's under. Michael, do you have any? It's
Um,
more than 5 years, but it's not 10, right?
it may not be more than that. When did, I mean, this number starts from the Rex renovation.
So I'm touring through a building that Hickenlooper building is running for his first term, so that's 5 years ago.
5 years.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's unbelievable.
Over the past 5 or so years,
Yeah, I think you could easily say that's within 5 years.
within the last 5 years.
So,
Well, and in 2015, looking at 5-year, 84 million.
Yeah,
That was,
construction,
Yeah.
renovation. And I don't know if this was under the institution, but I'm not seeing anything that talks about sales about it. And I just think that it would be good to call out the beautiful setting. That's really, I think, something that Aldo's has going for.
Just to close the loop on the students, you have a number for campus bed, 1,145. Our total capacity.
Yeah, so there wouldn't be 2,500 living on campus.
I like the idea that you just mentioned about including something about the setting.
I absolutely agree. So hold that thought for a second, Mary. I want to get this number right since we have it here. We don't think we're at full capacity. So it's 1,100, about 1,000.
I would say probably 1,000.
All right, let's say that. All right, let's go. Everybody happy with 1,000? Okay, let's go to Mary's point then. I'm looking at what we currently have on our search web page, where there is a whole paragraph. United States owns in Colorado, community 9,000 banks for their own day. City is the heart of the San Luis Valley, all that. But yeah, I think there ought to be something that we can do about that.
Or maybe even a whole different paragraph under the institution and the setting. I just a thought, I'm just, wow.
All right, well, I can in the interest of trying to complete this today, I can do this message off the web page and see if anyone wants to just pick it up and drop it in, all right?
Okay.
Hopefully the numbers will be right. Adam State Homes, Alamosa, Colorado, a community of 9,000 on the banks of the Rio Grande. The city is at the heart of the San Francisco, the world's largest alpine valley. Picturesque and historic area, roughly midway between Denver, Colorado, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. So far, so good.
I think the last census puts out most at about 12,000 in the population. I just read that recently.
Yeah.
A local,
That's 9,000.
it's not correct, or after the census. So, but that seems to be fine.
Yeah, and is that county or city population?
I think it's the city.
Okay.
If you include the city stuff,
Right, so the city is 12.
I think it's higher than 9.
Yes, okay. James here's got something from the Census Bureau.
Okay. There you go, that's what I'm talking about.
And so what's the census? 33 in 2012. That may not include East Alamosa places that are unincorporated.
I stand corrected.
So we have,
Just want to be over 10,000. I'm sorry.
the county seat, you know, in the county here. Approximately 10,000.
East Alamosa was 14.
And the college.
So East Alamosa.
Over 10.
All right, I'm going to put it over 10. So, university plays a pivotal role in southern educational opportunities, economic development, and cultural innovation. About 30% of undergraduate students come from San Luis Valley high schools. I'm going to defer to Dr. Number on the 30% number.
I'd say a quarter.
So, about a quarter. So with those two changes, do we like that paragraph? All right, so you can pull that, we can convert it. All right, so we'll stick that in. I like that. Is that, where do we think,
Excuse me. Could we also add a link to either City of Alamosa, because we have our own website that can refer to learn more about the area.
well,
I think it's
on the presidential search page, there's a bunch of links to various community things. So what I want to do is change this website, the ad general website. I would want to steer with it on the presidential search page, so they have it all. So do we want this after all the other stuff, or do we want to put it in the middle?
Oh, right after the institution, I think would be very appropriate, and I think we can find an appropriate title.
The area. The area. The community. Yeah.
The thing in the institution too is, in the position summary, we mentioned the matter state teaching, and there's nothing in the, about the institution with regards to the mission. And we do have a new mission.
I think if I heard us use the term mission, we need to substantiate it somehow.
And say this is what the mission is,
Yes.
if that's
All right.
position summary.
Give me a suggestion.
Trying to find.
Well, you mean, this should be referring to supporting and increasing diversity.
We have, yeah, there is a new mission. This is our
Mission statement.
mission statement.
Because one of the things that we did is, we wanted to make sure that they understood the commitment to underserved populations, including minority, first generation, and low income students. And that, it's the first one to be designated as HSI, We thought that was, so if you want to put the mission in there,
Yeah, mission is to educate, serve, and inspire diverse populations to pursue their lifelong dreams and ambitions. Our vision is to become the university community of choice for diverse value, quality education.
I think that would be appropriate to be included in that introduction. I think it's a great statement.
Yeah.
I have a link to that site.
so add mission in here.
I would think mission and vision, because if
Okay.
down below where you have an understanding of that unique mission.
Okay, what I do then is look at the institution paragraph, and then right in the middle of it, where we finish the renovation projects, and put a new paragraph. It's still the institution. Begin with the mission statement. I think it has one of the most. I think there's a certain flow there.
Yeah.
If you have a mission statement in front of you, then you get this.
ASU's mission is to educate, serve, and inspire our diverse populations in the pursuit of their lifelong dreams and ambitions.
Educate, serve. Okay, inspire. Go ahead, just slowly. Thanks.
Our diverse populations. In the pursuit of their lifelong dreams and ambitions.
See, I think that flows nicely into the, as one of the cost effective, I mean, that kind of nice, cleaning of that paragraph.
It was just approved in 2013.
But we want
Is that a separate paragraph?
That begins a separate paragraph,
Gotcha.
and then
Gotcha.
that second half.
but should we include as well the vision statement? I thought that was good as well. Would you read that?
The vision is to become the university community of choice for diverse and traditionally underrepresented groups and all value qualification and
Yeah, I like that. I think that's an important statement for someone to find for that, to hear that. I'd like to know that.
It strikes me as a little redundant, but I'm.
That's what I wondered if that news page to me was very impressive because it gives an overview of the valley, the university, our mission, our vision, and then all the individual links. And if we've got all that out there up front, and then we have the position description, because this is all new to me, folks. Is it too much redundancy to keep repeating some of that in the position announcement itself? It's not going to go, you know what I mean? So,
I want to be cautious with the stuff. And I see that as extremely important. If I'm reading this, I would see that as something that would strike me and something that would be important to me, a prospective applicant, someone who has an interest in this position.
Well, I see that as more important maybe than the numbers on how much the buildings and how much is gone into that. For the 25 buildings. Hey, putting too many numbers, I think the section of communities is great. Take a little bit on the vision and mission, okay? And maybe shorten this sort of stuff up.
Or maybe what makes sense to put some of that as the background about the institution, not deleting the very first page, first paragraph of the first page with the numbers.
I think it's 3 pages now, and I think that you can include that in those 3 pages without adding much more to anything.
Yeah, I think what we're talking about now is just looking at the vision as well as mission. Yes, consensus for including that as well.
I'm on vision
So we'll include that right after the mission. Anything else on that first section?
Can I just, Camille, how does that sound? You're the person on this thing now.
That sounds fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right, position summary.
Minor, the word two needs to be inserted in the first line. We'll need two.
We'll need two. Let's get it right. Let's do it. Anything else on that one? Okay, scope of responsibility.
Sorry, going back.
Oh, all right.
No, in seconds, it says an academic leader. Should we just stress leader overall? And not, I know we're an academic institution, and I'm reading on this. It seems like, you know, there's more to the leadership of the university than the academics. I don't know. And maybe it's just the way I'm interpreting.
Well, maybe if we express the idea there's something, obviously we want someone who's a good manager, administrator, and that requires leadership.
Right.
And we want somebody who, you know, some financial development requires leadership. But we're talking about somebody who's understanding of the academic environment and can lead in that context. If there's a better way to say it, I'm open, but I think there's at least 3 people here who might feel that that's an important.
No, I know, I agree. I mean, I don't know where the university, I just see what's
Well, if I may, when you look at the mission and the vision and all those other things, I think that's what you glean for those statements. This is what the expectation of my leadership is going to be. That's why I felt that was important. Because, and yes, it says academic leader. That's the primary responsibility. But it's really leading to have some community leaders as well.
Yeah, I want to recast this leadership in each of these 4 areas. I'm fine with that, but I think you need to touch the academics very clearly in the vertical. So I'm going to say academic leadership and help it.
Well, but if we take it out, then what we have left are business, we covered political and others, then we've left out academic, which is the core of our mission. So I would be very hesitant to take out academic part of this stuff.
If there's a way to, I mean, I think I understand the side of the loss of it. How do we better say it?
I feel better now that we're doing this discussion. Let's say again, this is, it's important.
Actually, we're making sure leadership across the board.
Right.
But I think, to me, that paragraph covers the vast scope of the job and the leadership responsibility. That's,
I will.
Okay? We'll leave that as is. Scope of responsibility.
My strange title, should be Vice President for Enrollment Management and Program Development.
Vice presidents for academic affairs, that's singular.
Well, academic affairs, finance.
Oh, okay, sure.
Okay, anything else on that one?
It's reporting to, and reporting into, so we just reported to.
Well, it wasn't clear to me that, well, certainly the athletic director does, but I don't know if the foundation and alumni actually report to president.
I don't think on Danny's there.
Okay, I just don't know if we're stating anything that has some. We're independent, so
Actually, I don't know about the information. You may be right about that.
I was just trying to be sensitive. That particular point for me, not that. We don't need to be sensitive, you know, obviously.
Human resources reports to the president also.
Yeah, we're gonna list them all, I think that's an important one that we try to. So into or who?
So we're not including all, so is that could that be problematic? Because if we either do all the positions that are measurable or.
Yeah, this goes into the balance between how much detail. Obviously, if someone wants to go behind this document, if they're interested, they'll be able to find all particulars. Our idea is to sort of sketch out, you know, here's the current structure, here are the layers.
And the issue is that the organizational chart as presented to us, there are a lot of direct reports to the president. So we thought that the key folks would be the VPs, and then including the other pages that can do under relations. There's some other direct reports there.
What about
I'm just trying to look at the policy on those regulations. We're waiting for a reader who the teacher is going to contract. To Paul's point, many of the executives who are going to be interested in this don't need all the details. They need a floor. They need something to consider that will Paul said, take to the individual search page and find out everything you want to know, or come back to us and ask more questions. So we can put it all in there, we cannot put it in there, but I think the point was really, this is a tickler. In essence, this whole document is a tickler. And we'll leave them to the path to find out more information and ask us some questions.
What about including but not limited to? Because if I also read this and all of a sudden I get the job, I'm like, what do you mean human resources reports to me? It wasn't in the job description, or it wasn't in the announcement. Including but not to. Because I was like, well, this is it? And all of a sudden, we need a human resources.
Sounds very familiar.
I guess when you do this, I feel like, oh yeah, we do put that in there.
Well, would you be comfortable with such as, because such as means here are some, there are more.
Not all.
Right.
So such as.
We decide to leave other professionals reporting into the president's office. We decide to leave that into someone says two.
I think it should be two.
Okay, I need some type of a navigation online. Blow that. We don't have a paragraph? All right. Key responsibilities. There's a bunch of, I'll take sort of the lead up paragraph and we will go over it. I think we did. Totally put it there. So, introduction paragraph.
The term cultural nuances seems like a code word to me for you know, for something unpleasant. I don't know why. Cultural nuances. I don't know.
Is it nuance or culture?
It's either.
Versus cultural differences or diversity. Yeah, because we discussed that earlier.
I just saw that if you put diversity there, that tells you what you're trying to reach.
Yeah, I know what it's supposed to be. I just wonder whether it reads.
Well, he said, as you indicated, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
What are their nuances?
Maybe we should say culture.
Yeah, because there's a gun rack in every car.
Just say culture? Or is that?
Is that rule settings, culture, I don't know if that.
Yeah.
And then, things of the cultural that are on the culture.
Yeah.
Such an environment, I like that.
Culture. else in that opening paragraph? Okay, first bullet. Okay, second bullet.
I guess my question is developing innovative academic programs, is that more of the VPAA? Or is it?
Well, he knows that that's the responsibility. Also, their leadership style, so I see it as okay.
You could say support, I think, was that
Or oversee.
Encouraging the support.
yeah, for that, they're not asking the president to develop, or they're going to be supportive in that, is that?
Yeah, or, I mean, I guess they,
I see the same thing.
when I think about how.
The development.
It's not, yeah.
Okay,
Overseeing or
Overseeing or.
supporting.
I think supporting the development.
Yeah, because she may say that creating developing academic programs is that's a VPA's position. As a president, she would want to more supervise or
What do you want your president doing? Development programs, or just support them?
supporting.
Right.
Because it seems to me the president will be setting priorities and vision, just like we invested money in the development of athletic programs. That was a conscious choice. This, the president didn't develop the athletic programs, but they're going to be overseeing and putting resources into development of academic programs. So I like the overseeing as opposed to development more technical. But you know, if they're going to be setting priorities for what gets developed and what doesn't.
I'll defer with you all. I keep coming back, supporting my mind, if you like, overseeing. I don't think overseeing is a strong word.
I like supporting.
Support is those.
Supporting. Well, one to say yes or no.
I guess for me, supporting to me is like, IT supports the institution, it's not driving it. So that same model, president is supporting it, but not overseeing it. To me, it's a different shift. For me, if we're talking, they're the ones really taking an active role in it, overseeing makes more stuff. Supporting the people doing it, being the one trying to just support.
I agree.
So we have, just on the beach sourcing, only the beach, just
Well, no, because I'm looking at other
Okay.
ways, but they don't develop academic programs. I mean, maybe at an institution our size, but that's really what the VPAA does. That's what your academic officer does.
Developing is not where you put it.
Something about, yeah.
Oversee the development. Oversee the development of innovative academic programs.
Yeah. Like that, yeah. Overseeing the development.
Overseeing the development,
Yeah.
going once.
Yes.
Going twice. All right, overseeing the development. Bullet. Okay. Ensuring all faculty and staff. Okay. Monitor current and future business. Okay. Building stakeholder and community connection partnerships. Facilitate various uses of. I'm not sure any two is the right word there. Might be or with.
Sorry, just to back up one of the first section. Sure. The building stakeholder and community connections and partnerships, should there be something about planning but maintaining or, we already have some like fostering. Yeah.
So is that building, or is that the place building?
Well,
I mean,
Go
we're talking,
together.
to me, we're talking new or
maintaining,
It's foster, I think, cover both.
Yeah.
And some of those sort of the building.
build it, maintain.
Foster.
Yes. Well, maintaining probably is more accurate. Building and maintaining what you put together, whether it's academic, structural, rather than foster. A little ambiguous to me. I like the idea of building and maintaining.
Maintaining. Right. Developing comprehensive.
Developing and comprehensive. In terms of implementing.
Kind of a similar question as that first page. Are they developing development of?
We're seeing
As far as the fundraising, developing foundation and voters.
I think in this case, it's better to be directly.
Yeah, I think it's.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's different. Yeah.
That one's okay.
Oh, yeah, maybe like it just.
I like that action with that other.
I like when people can be part of the action that does a big thing for this next president.
Developing,
Make sure they're fine.
developing it. Facilitating the comprehensive.
I would comprehensive program and institutional we're talking about.
For any old institution. Network. Yes.
Is this either potential additional bullets or somewhere in saying,
Sure.
isn't the person vision? So that person who does that, and what's missing is the mission that comes again to the notion of our diverse population. It basically is so that it achieves its vision, and there is the one who drives. And so it's coming back to valuing diversity and promoting inclusive excellence.
And you said we have not. So let's back up. I would make the first bullet.
Yeah. Which, and it may need something after that and push the idea of our, back to it, the diverse population serving environment and fulfilling. of being, becoming right, right, but we have, I mean, that's what the president does.
Right, so elimination of vision, gives it, say that everything else is about.
Yeah. The key,
Or the universe.
diversity would include in some other places around. Where we all faculty encouraging the ideas and promoting promoting the mission of inclusive excellence, promoting something. That the folks saying the mission.
Again, this is just what we're trying to solve in here and make things interesting more about their details. I mean, my overall concern with the draft, Red Bar, is that we don't see much. Hard pressed to go and drop out because it's a little bit, you know, we'll be able to pick it up and say, I'll learn more. That's
I think that last bullet effectively policy is there to accessibility.
Well, trustee Farley, a real quick point that I answer just clarification purposes. But will we also be
the basis on which people will apply, and then we will. I mean, yeah, there should be value what they're getting into.
a lot of that other question, frankly, as into the finalists, there's a lot going which is very later in but this is a possibility. And how can you just want to brief, like whether you're in academia or whatever kind of environment, how we set it up as we set it up. So there's a lot to say, institution, the trickier is to captivate your audience to know. And that's sort of Paul said, it's between things that you want to share. What do you need to keep engaged, to keep it for that?
Yeah, Leroy, we can invite whose support is and essential or just essential?
Whose part is the same?
Okay, want to go good with that? Sorry, do you have something else?
Whose support
Is essential to the success of the institution. Okay. All right. Qualifications.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
With key responsibilities, I understand that we're trying to hook people and recruit them, but does the board have their own charges of the present? So in growing institution, we charge you with reaching, does that come late in terms of, you know, sometimes I think some of this debate when it comes to implementing comprehensive government strategies, do they know details as what we kind of expect this from this beginning? And then in terms of the institution, do they need to know that up front?
I don't know if we need in practical terms. Every year the board is just now president and says, okay, this is how things have gone. It's gone well, not much without. And here's some things we'd like some focus on over the next year. That's going to change year to year. And in this case, it changed depending on who we all
and this is Mary, I would also add that his the present performance evaluation report out of his annual strategic goals. So he's been assessed against those. I mean, we would look at that going forward, but that's
and that could be a document that we can provide, once he looks up, I would say, here's year to present. Go ahead.
On our website, isn't it, Jay?
We're not sure. That's on the website. Not this. Yeah. But that's certainly a public document. And so that'd be kind of information we give somebody at that point. Say, here's the sort of thing. That's not every year. And what I was about to say is, in the end, first appointed. Someone, like I said, technically there's 4 main areas. If someone brings 3 of them, we'll have to look at our staff and make sure that works. Okay, personal qualifications, demonstrated leader. Who's all pretty technical, of course. Proven strategic thinker. President should be a leader. Now, that may be a thought leader.
Oh.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it's used in temporary times, you need it, but it's used, it is, I guess, a buzzword, but it's used to mean someone who's had the time to sort of thinking. But you can say whatever you want, but that means.
Forward looking, is that what you
Yes. Yes, the big movement was forward thinking, but yes, forward looking, yes. Forward looking, creative,
innovative? How about
innovator, you can use that, innovator.
be an innovative?
Well, keep in mind that power relative. It's okay. I think you're dealing with a lot of emotion that goes into what.
Well, there are, part of this is that, okay, you say this, tell us how you are this. My only confusion was when you say thought leader, I think I know that. But I'm not a thought leader, obviously. So my only question was the word like innovator help. At least me it would help.
Yes, it would help me understand.
The other way that word has been used, other institutions academically driven, would be someone who has maybe published or at least spoken about ideas that were out there in the thinking. Ahead of the times a little bit, but just to let you know, sort of the context in which it's used, that's another way. Innovator is fine, whatever you guys are comfortable with. Just the answer, that's what it means.
I see what you mean, innovator. If you're talking about someone who's published academically, innovator probably doesn't get that.
Correct. Thought leader is the word, it's the same word, so to speak, that people are using now. Capture innovator and sort of someone who is in their particular line of work ahead of their time in terms of thinking. And you guys can use whatever, connotation that is comfortable with that you like, but it is a pretty commonly used word or phrase, and not to say therefore you have to use it, but I'm just saying it's not understood necessarily.
We need to understand what it means, but if there's a term that our audience will quickly recognize and that'll fiddle with that, we should make all I know that.
And I think thought leader really, at least in my mind, when we did the presidential roundtable, there was a lot of discussion about that, looking at being innovative and always, holding classes the same way they always have. So to me, innovation is part of it, but thought leader, I think so. And I see innovation speak. Thought leader, I've heard a lot. So
Okay. So, I'm a lawyer, we don't.
After hearing
Well, I just wondered then, and I'm really douche about this at the beginning, but how do we put this on evaluation instrument when we're ranking the candidates we're looking at?
Well, as long as we know what it is.
We know what it
so we
is.
can say, does this person meet this bullet?
So, and then we will go through that by bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just.
So thought leader was something to me who can inspire thought as opposed to that inspired thought.
But also bring.
Right.
So, all right, well, I'm okay with it now. Kara's
Huh? I think that's the lesser interpretation.
the experts tell me everybody else knows what it means with me, so I'll go with that. All right, charismatic and creative.
Charismatic. It's typically not a word, I don't think, that's used to describe women. When you think about it, but it's rare, you know, you hear oftentimes for charismatic. I mean, it's just, it's not, I think it's history. Sometimes more.
I think those averages should be.
Maybe that's where the word
Inspire. Anything else on that one? All right, comfortable work with broad range of individuals.
So yes, as I've been in some feedback. Can there be, it's one thing to be comfortable with, again, it's demonstrating that they have the skill to work with diverse individuals, not just, oh yeah, I'm comfortable with this. So they have to have demonstrated they have the skill. And again, the range of individuals, it goes back to the diversity piece, back to our mission. Yeah. It would be that they have background, the ability to show. Yes. So working with, again, individuals that demonstrated skill in working with.
Ability to work with.
Yeah. Diverse background.
Well, working relationships.
We just want them to be more comfortable. We want them to have.
Choose this harm.
With a broad range of individuals, yeah.
Diverse backgrounds.
Individuals and persons from a diverse background. I'm trying to make sure it's thought.
the phrase individuals and personalities, is that redundant? Individual, if you're an individual, Well, I don't know the difference between personality and individual. If you're an individual. No, that's just a, seems to be done in the
So, outrange individuals. Everyone can name from the rank. I think it's wrong.
I don't think so.
Right. In the absence of a ruling from the experts, we talk big about. Such a better. The president should have demonstrated ability with a broad range of individuals of diverse backgrounds, from diverse backgrounds.
Is fine, but a demonstrated ability to something else.
To build strong relationships.
Oh,
And restructure the sense.
yeah.
Did we decide,
I think it comes before it's and if it comes after it's from.
if which kind of work?
If diverse backgrounds comes before individuals, it'll be and if it's individuals from.
Okay, well, we have it after right now.
It'll be from.
And are we,
You were meeting personalities, and I think that build strong working relationships should go up with demonstrated ability. So, this is what I thought, I'll be close to it. The president should have a demonstrated ability to build strong working relationships with a broad range of individuals from diverse backgrounds.
Good enough.
All right.
So I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, as you choose that to demonstrate ability, do you think that that should be then to professional qualifications rather than personal? Yeah.
You know? I think so. Read that back. And move that over to professional. Put it at the end of professional.
And since we're on that, my other question is, do we need to have professional qualifications before pursuing?
Yes.
What's the value in the order?
Yeah, right, you want to be the one in front of the other?
All in there?
Did you get a question?
I can't hear all of the comments, but it's really, in terms of sequence of traits, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the question is whether the personal qualifications, there's a reason to put that ahead of a professional qualifications.
It's excellent enough than the other, really. I mean, every client has a personal opinion of it, so honestly, I've heard all the arguments, but you want to hear what I'm quite reason that, the personal qualifications first, think it leads into education and the other things. The clients who want the professional qualifications first, think that it follows from the responsibility. So, honestly, I've heard both sides of the coin, but it's up to you guys what you want.
I don't know, I think my personal preference would be professional qualifications just because it kind of falls with it. Okay.
Is that consensus, all right? All right, let's finish the personal qualifications before we through. We'll flop those two around. So I think we're on energetic self-start.
No.
Real quick, Paul, before we move on, I wanted to go and see if we may have to add something for what we just modified. One thing I've noticed with a lot of the students is that they like something that, like president, someone who's a little more relatable to students. Because obviously we view the president of a university as a figurehead, someone who is very relatable when we see them on campus. I don't know the exact wording on that, but that is what I have surveyed from the student body.
Okay, that sounds like a personal qualification, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And a suggestion on how to express that, because we already have good listener proactive, something I'll think approachable.
Yes, approachable, like I say, relatable with the students. Because a lot of, I know that this announcement is targeting forward to what objectives we want at the university, what professional qualities we seek for a president. Being a little more involved with the university, I see how the president operates. But for a student who might just be passing along the talk, how do they feel respect other than just position for that individual? Because there's a higher level of respect and appreciation for when they're able to interact with the staff, first the teacher, the president.
I'm trying to think how we would express that here. We can say, someone who's approachable, but that you want something that focuses anything on students.
Personally, I think you have to bullet, and you just say, I'm not going to be able to work with it, but basically you just say what you said, proven ability to relate to students, maybe you put it in a bullet where it says relating to diverse people, or however you like reword it. It's like I'm not hearing all the conversation. But it's important enough to marry some separate bullets. My 2 cents worth.
Okay, thank you.
I'm wondering if it would fit under the last one page, where it says president should proactive that. The next one would be the president should have maybe roles.
Engaging.
I think that would be an appropriate field for that. Wording doesn't have to be everything. I think that, like, a teacher candidate, we have one candidate that I know I'll be interested in. So, a candidate where the president should be approached with, something simple as that. What I could do is draft something after we go through some of these bullets.
While we're on the phone here? Yeah. Okay, that'd be helpful. If it all be good to practice today. So, I think in the room there's reading something about being approachable and engaging with the students, something like that. I think we're all okay with. We figured out the right way to say it. Okay. So if we can circle back, we do a few more things and circle back, and maybe you have some time to help us. All right, so we were, president should be experienced, comfortable with high publicity. Okay. Energetic, self-starter, flexible. Good listener, proactive, open. Here we share this information, right?
Can I go back to we were talking about demonstrated ability. On the third bullet, there on qualifications, president should be a thought leader with a track record. Does that mean demonstrated ability we talked about a while ago? Then put that in the professional component of the bullets?
Maybe it should. I'm starting to feel these starting to collapse. And I don't know if we want to do that. I don't know if we want to collapse. That maybe that will move.
Yeah.
You know, there are sort of,
Which ones are we going to select to be professional?
because there are personal characteristics. We certainly like to have some confidence that these personal characteristics exist, not just a person saying, "Oh yeah," we want them to be able to demonstrate that even if it's personal characteristics, right?
So the reason I think, so a thought leader is, that would be a qualification that somebody has. When we're talking about working with individuals, these are working relationships, which feels more like a professional thing, because you're talking about how you interact with someone else in a working environment, but this is a character, more of a personal qualification, and may come out in other instances rather than just in the professional setting. And I think that's why we put those separate. Keep that person, the personal thought leader as a personal qualification, and working with individuals from a diverse background as a professional. In my opinion, they're sort of separate. But you're right, I can see them colliding.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I would put them in my mind.
Maybe on the other side of that coin, I mean, for me, this, my mind jumps to the next phase for us, which is, I think, getting some way of evaluating the candidates that come in. So for me, I want to make sure everything that we want to measure them against has been mentioned to them, so it's fair game. So that we can have a scale line that says, hey, we said we wanted you to be a thought leader, so we're going to ask you some questions and score you against your counterparts. So.
Last time we spoke, we talked more about the travel requirements. And so I know we mentioned it should be an energetic self-starter, but I also think that needs to be mentioned somewhere in the qualifications in order to handle that kind of load. I don't know how you say it. And, we had a pretty lengthy conversation about we want this person on campus or away. I don't think this really gives that good sense right here in terms of, am I going to be a president staying? I understand that the rural setting piece hopefully gives them a sense of, okay, this is far, but do they really know how far it is and how often that they will travel that far?
That one, I think, might be less qualification and more under key responsibility. Say something like, effectively balance the demands of I'll just improve on campus some of the time and having to be away doing other things in Denver or wherever. That might be a responsibility.
Because earlier, it does say that we are expecting this person to have a home, also make a home in the area and actively participate in community volunteers. There's the expectation there, but it is low. I'm going to campus, I want to come home. But it's in Denver. That almost makes it person's here rather versus there. And here. Yeah, it's under key responsibilities in that one paragraph.
Which one are you looking at?
Become an integral part of the community, not only for professional service, but also for making a home in the area.
Well, then how would it send right back at the same time?
Travel.
The president. Will need.
Will also be.
Well, that's I would say. needs, right? Need to balance the needs of communities.
Oh, yeah, regional, you better specify if it's regional, because you'll be asked statewide, regional, national, we travel, clear, because that's the number one question that people ask.
A lot of Denver.
I would say that. Because that makes a difference in how people, the travel. So Denver is one thing, if I'm in New York every week, that's what I'm saying.
Denver's.
Yeah, I would just state that statewide or whatever it is.
That's an expectation we will be expected to achieve.
Yeah, but so balance, yeah, the balance. I'm having trouble finding the right words.
Requirement. They need to balance the.
It's an expectation that you will balance them.
Effectively manage travel to the state capital.
Need to balance the demands of frequent travel to Denver. That's what we call it Denver. We can find Denver on the map. We can't find Denver on the map.
Is that a day trip? That's a day trip. But that's not. Can you use questions that you ask? That's not crazy. So that's not what I wanted to try. Basically, it can be.
Almost 8 hours of drive time.
Yeah,
Drive.
it's not one.
Okay, but it's, okay, so it's overnight. It's not only, that's all I'm saying, just be clear. I prefer to this later. That makes sense.
Could you say it one more time?
Okay, this is, another part of the community, not only professional, first of all, at the same time,
That's all the current travel.
Okay, but what do you mean by frequent? Here's, what do you mean by frequency? That's what, frequent says to me once a week, you're talking about a week?
several times a month.
Instead of say several times a month. Frequent says to me once a week.
Several overnights.
Well, again, we don't need to,
Yeah, you don't want to get too specific.
you're saying it doesn't make someone think it several times a month?
No, frequent tells me you want me to go up to Denver once a week at least. Frequent, that's what frequent says to me.
That's you.
Yeah, but isn't that what we're talking about? On average.
Okay.
During the legislative session.
I think frequent travel.
Frequent.
Oh, I do think just, the balance, the demands of frequent travel in Denver.
Because there could also be
Okay.
sea and other places.
I would hate to say, a couple of trips a month, but in fact, it might be 0 one time and 3.
And I hope I'm gonna turn this around on you. Don't say, bring them to say, I'm interested in this, what do you mean by frequent? And then we can.
Okay, you'll be asked, I guarantee you, I can guarantee you right now, you will be asked that question.
I think you've been fair at flagging the issue.
Okay, that's fine.
I think we finished for personal qualifications.
That, in our roundtable with faculty, that the next president should have really an appreciation of the spirit and goal of governance. And I don't know if that in here. There are some who aren't, some presidents who are not.
Professional. Yeah, there's.
Change the word, demonstrate experience, appreciation of shared justice, because, having experience and being involved.
All right, so saying appreciation, and at that point, Because that would be personal rather than professional, which is okay. So, say appreciation moves to personal.
No, I don't think that is a personal to me. I think you're wanting that to be a professional thing, you know. Otherwise, it could be significant, to me, it's significantly different, you know. I like that, but I don't have time for it, kind of thing.
Well, I'm not asking you to demonstrate anything. It's not my mind is software, personal, presence,
That's right, that's right. And there's a line between
and that's why we're going to say not demonstrate experience, but appreciation of students' slide.
Like, so we can each do demonstrated experience and appreciation.
Because if you're ever been friends does not appreciate your governance, then you have those confidence and all this stuff. They have experience with the shared governance. So that if they would appreciate the process because of their company, then you really can. Something feel about an experience successful or unsuccessful. Yeah. No way we can now quantify successful experience. It's hard to quantify appreciation. So they demonstrate successful experiences. Yeah, the shared governance model, right, the folks staying at their institutions, holiday, yes. Yeah. So not having
I mean, something like that hasn't been used. That's our and you went a little bit more this stage.
I don't know, I mean, if it's something that we deem important, goes back, we look for somebody who has a history in higher education. Or are we going to look for analytics in this person?
Right.
We have to take the rule out.
Well, I appreciate something like I'm just out.
I think you need to take it out. Is somebody, if they can come and realize to you that I am a believer in making sure that governments here, that's different than somebody saying, no, I have no experience, even if they don't have any experience, but if they have successful experience, they have no. The person who comes and says, I ultimately, I like the governance aspect of that is really important to success. It is successful to get good experience with shared governance because you cannot do it in this. You cannot do it in this. And the other thing is, I mean, over to
community.
Yes, community. I was thinking sure that the application concept. Sure.
But then we're having to talk to the shared governance. And it's a bank.
Okay, that's the way that it's expressed. Sure, governance. Okay. Okay.
Also say promoting.
Well, we could do that, but promoting can be just a little bit, just to get my. So, I'll do my best in this project, invested in this process.
But I do think that we need to leave it as wide open as possible. Like you mentioned that maybe just an appreciation would be a better way to close, have somebody not close the door.
So that's my only concern at this point. I want anybody to mind to play.
But successful experience isn't saying successful motivation or oversight. I mean, you can have experience with something and not be the person that led it. If they were a senior VP, they weren't going to be that they were a part of a very open shared governance, that would need individual experience.
Chair, there's a question down there.
Well, in my perspective, the definition of success is too ambiguous. So that's why I was in favor of the promoting shared governance, because, for example, if from their previous experiences, they may have chosen to leave the institution or business because of the lack of support for shared governance. So they would have never had a successful one, but made a decision based on that.
This one floor is kind of open for some of it.
I know you were worried about the phrase shared governance, and I just wonder if a phrase that is a little more open, you could get something like such as, leadership model, or inclusive leadership model, or collaborative or authentic leadership model, that such as, and that might, I'm sorry about this.
No, I think that's helpful. Maybe, demonstrate a successful experience in collaborative something such as shared governance.
Yeah.
There's a noun we can put in there. I think that can get us there.
Because the message is clear.
And so demonstrated successful experience in collaborative something. Efforts.
Leadership.
Organization, or just collaboration. So,
Collaborative leadership.
collaborative leadership, such as shared governance with boards and stakeholders, something like that. Or is it collaborative leadership with boards and stakeholders, such as shared governance?
Why do you need the shared governance in there?
Just to give them an idea.
I'm just trying to figure out how to.
That's really.
So collaborative leadership, such as shared governance with boards.
All right. Collaborative leadership, such as shared governance with boards and stakeholders. Let me read it again, or is everybody good with that? Okay, so, I don't think we quite finished personal qualifications, did we? We did finish Albert's, Albert, have you had any insights?
You probably went off to
Oh, sorry, I'm driving at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I should be in my office in about 10 minutes, so.
Okay,
I'm going to get on the computer.
I'll come back to you then, sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I thought maybe you were writing in the dust on your dashboard. All right, so we're now on professional qualifications. Now, you've already touched on the second one. Let's back at the first one. 10 years at a minimum leading a dynamic, complex organization. Obviously, 10 is a number that's, you could say 8, you could say 12.
I'd like some, Miss Mary, I'd like to see a little wiggle room in there, because there's experience in that balance.
So is it at a minimum average for the 10 years? Or is it different?
Or equivalent something. Clearly it's not fully put in my head. It just,
This makes extensive experience, and leave it open to us to decide that.
Or maybe, do we want to even say the numbers of experience? Are you going to say, oh, because you might prevent someone who is a very dynamic person who has great ideas about doing some things, but
I mean,
or have we resolved that matter already?
Yeah, well, I'm going to play the other side of this now. I don't want to close the door on, potential, winning candidates, but I don't know if I really want to open up and say, you've never run anything big and complicated before, come in and learn with us. I'm a little uneasy with that.
I'll also say that.
well, I would be too, I just don't want to.
Okay, I'm gonna chime in here. Okay, 10 years is actually a small amount. A lot of times for these jobs, it's like 15 or even 20. We've done 10 years in theory out of college is a 32-year-old. If you want to, so we can change it to whatever you want. I kind of agree with Paul on this, that you definitely want somebody seasoned, so at a minimum, 10 years out, you could potentially get a Sun Valley retired, internet guru who's made a major company that made multi-millions of people out playing making and stuff. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Some kid who started a company in college, ran it for 10, 12 years, and it was complex, and so I'm making this up. 10 years is really at a minimum of 32-year-old.
I've got a question here. Go ahead.
I mean, I would certainly say that anyone applying for a job, they would ignore that if they want it, and will apply anyway. So I don't necessarily think that that's closing the door for a candidate that really is invested in this type of position. So I think it's relevant.
You can always just say preferred, not required.
Yeah, you can,
It doesn't say requirement.
Yeah. It says the ideal candidate.
Yeah.
Should have.
Okay, so we resolve to leave it as it is? All right. I think we've done the second and third bullet, knowledge of and experience with.
Okay, so just so we're all clear about this, what I'm not seeing here is academic rank or tenure, right? So there is not the requirement that this person come in with academic rank or tenure. Now, I assume we've left it open so someone could negotiate that. But by not mentioning it, we're implying that someone could be a president, but not.
Like I said, I'll use the Gucci example. At this stage, now when we get down and stack names, you can bring more to these people. One of the things I have is terminal creation.
It's squishy. I mean, knowledge and experience with higher education. Well, I went to college when I was 18 years old, so I have knowledge and experience in higher education. So much knowledge and experience in higher education. I mean, my God, this is what we're in the endeavor of doing, and all we're asking is, I know a little bit about it, I have some experience with it, I want a qualifying statement, or a qualifying word with this.
Substantial.
I mean, I don't want to eliminate, but at the same time, I think anything we want on this page, this squishy is kind of least form statement, and it's probably the most significant maybe. That's appropriate.
It's substantial.
So I like substantial.
But yeah, on the same,
Well, how much experience did Hank Brown?
How about relevant?
Mary suggested relevant.
Relevant.
Does that take us anywhere?
No. I just need a word.
Did you finish your thought there?
Yeah, I just experienced it, Hank Brown, that what you have.
A lot.
Not all of it, and there's some more successful leaders, so I think we need to keep these as open as possible. So, the honest truth, that the future of this university is going to be very dependent on somebody who can get out and raise money. And if we can find Bill Gates to come in here and more money, you can pay for all the other things. You can pay for a president to do all of the academic stuff. To do those things. I think we just need to leave it with it.
but let's check, I mean,
They have to have an appreciation or relevance.
I guess the issue for me is we're not a DU or we're not a C. We need that connection to the academic side from the top down, because that signals value. And I'm not asking. I'm not asking to eliminate a potential Bill Gates or like that. But I want to have something tangible in terms of the connection, other than they're on the alumni board or something like that, or some institution. I want some kind of connection with, because as a small institution, if that person comes in with limited experience in higher education, and we're talking about shared governance and things, the learning curve will be 10 years before they get how it works, and then we're on to a new precedent. That's my feeling. That's my sense of it. So I'm thinking I don't know what anybody else, maybe I'm on the wrong track on this, but I think it's an important consideration that we just finesse the state just slightly enough that they have to have some kind of more than just experience or knowledge of.
I mean, just Dr. Hooker already laid out, we're saying the ideal candidate.
I was just making that point. So it should have.
So it should, not that we will throw them out of it, sure, it should have something that's relevant.
And maybe we need to look at that indirect cost, because here's the thing, on all these, sorry.
but if we're seeking the ideal,
Right, but what I'm saying is on all of these, what we got, 9, 10, if someone comes in with, I want to see your act, I don't want to tell them, you've got to touch each face or forget. But we're sculpting to that. This is the kind of person we're looking for. If you think you can play, you're going to be able to touch a bunch of these faces, right? So maybe you need to do something in that first paragraph to make it really clear that, I mean, we were saying that in the candidate, yeah, maybe that's.
substantially, maybe, because that first sentence, the ideal candidate should have, if you read that, if I'm applying, I would be saying, well, I don't have, I'm not going to be able to.
Well, I just want to make sure that's clear, so that I your point that, we're an academic institution, we want somebody more than 5 and 2 years in college when I was 20, so we want to modify that to be substantial in a sense, as long as we're clear that I don't want anyone pulling themselves out in before we have a chance.
Right. That's why I like relevant and substantial, because it does. Okay.
And I think
it prevents, because it's substantial may then I think would be more limiting than
relevant's good for me, is it for everybody else?
Yeah.
Right.
I want to get back to the ideal candidate should have. I think that's where the real adjective is going to have to come in. Because ideal should substantially have, or the ideal candidate should have all of these. We need to do something to that statement there that allows somebody to say, well, they didn't say that they want every one of them. So, I'd like to see if we can make some adjustments that the ideal candidate should substantially have.
Or is required sometimes. Well, I think one of the things that you have to be real careful about, and one of the reasons for using the words should have, is because it's not necessarily a requirement. It allows people to look and say, you know, geez, I read almost all of one or two, I'm gonna apply. And it's not for us to guess why, you know, they have to prove relevant knowledge. It's the way they market themselves in terms of having relevant knowledge and or experience in higher education. So the whole idea here was to be inclusive, to make sure that we covered what we heard you folks say, what we heard the folks that we interviewed say, but not to, as Paul's phrases, close the door on somebody who may have quite a few of these, but sees one and thinks that that's required. So we typically stay from the words requirement. So should have just opens it up. And that's why we said ideally it should have.
So people, kind of people looking for, you know, they should have understand this is the deal with. Okay.
And it's up to them to decide how they're going to demonstrate each one of these points. You know, they don't have to meet them all. And then it's up to you folks and us to say this is these are the top points.
So we're okay with lead-in and then relevant knowledge? Yes. Right. Okay. Demonstrate track record of effectiveness. Success in generating revenues. Oh, yeah. Or bring your own, right? Demonstrated management skills. I'm wondering if that there's a few words in there that are just in the way. Just say demonstrated track record of success as a thoughtful. You say management skills specifically. I don't know. I don't know if those words take us in the those extra words.
I kind of agree with you, Paul. They want definition.
Yeah, demonstrated track record of success as a thoughtful. Right?
Can we throw visionary in there? I was just referring back to the survey under abilities and skills, and 11% of that survey said visionary leadership with the strategies for achieving this vision.
So demonstrated
So I
track
think
record as a
everybody
thoughtful,
can't be
visionary,
quiet.
effective. I like that.
Just about.
Thoughtful, visionary, effective.
And then the team-oriented stuff that deals with the government.
It does kind of tie in that.
Okay, I'm okay with it.
Successful track record for developing and executing revenue-generating programs. This seems a lot like the prior, the demonstrated success in generating revenues and fundraising. Is it the same thing or is it different? All right, I'll take a stab at it. Demonstrated success in generating revenue, fundraising programs, such or including sponsorships and charitable events. Is that the ballpark? Well, we also have executing it, so we want.
I don't think we need that clause.
I don't think,
The executing that.
I think you say developing and implementing revenue generating programs and do that.
And we're not working, so.
What
Why do you need sponsorships and charitable events? You just have a successful track record of developing and implementing revenue generating programs.
What do I mean? Generating revenues and fundraising, or just strike that earlier one that we're talking about?
Strike out sponsorships and charitable events and just say a successful track record in developing and implementing revenue generating programs.
Okay, and then kill the two blocks above. Demonstrate success in generating revenues. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing.
No, I'm just understanding. So kill the earlier one and then shorten the second one. Right. Everybody all right with that? Go ahead.
Okay. Developing and executing revenue generating programs is very different to me than fundraising. So I think you need to have fundraising in there, which is the development part. Executing revenue generating programs is something completely different.
And generating revenues and fundraising are actually two different things technically speaking. They also go hand in hand, but they connotate different definitions completely. I'm learning from the conversation, but
all right, I'm going to try it this way. Everybody hang with me. I'm going to go back to that one we just struck out above. Demonstrating success in generating revenues and developing fundraising programs.
This is Mary. I just would like to speak up here because I really look at it more in terms of economic development of an institution, not just fundraising. Fundraising seems to me to connote just individual contributors, businesses, and so on. But I'm talking about development opportunities, partnering with industry on that sort of thing. It's not necessarily one time, but it's more than a revenue stream, and it's more than fundraising. There's a strategic component to it. I just look at the development office that other institutes make, for instance, and it's much more than just fundraising. Not fundraising is not important. Does that make sense now?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, yes. I know exactly. The question is how specific do you want to be, really? I know you guys want additional revenue, different sources. So the question is, to your potential, want to be very specific and tell them what you're looking for, or you want to be very generic and just speak in generating revenues, which general connotates everything, and the candidate can tell you what they're going to do, or do you want to be, we want fundraising, we want partnerships, we want this, we want that.
All right.
That's what it is.
All right.
Go ahead.
Let's try this one for size. Demonstrated success in revenue generation, fundraising, and economic development.
Economic development. Economic development. Anyway, specific to the institution. Yeah, that's right.
Organizational development.
Institutional economic development.
Institutional economic development.
It's a mouthful, but
I like organizational.
Go back to, maybe we need to revisit why we want to change these two statements. Maybe we want to go back and leave them as they are, because clearly there's a reason why these two statements exist.
They seem to overlap as they are. Maybe we can have two statements addressing two different.
But from the people who created the statements, they don't overlap, do they? Right, they don't overlap.
Don't tell me how these two don't overlap, because developing and executing revenue generation, and then above it says generating revenues.
Fundraising is a part of that. I mean, I
Fundraising is part of
think we need to make it detail a lot more.
Yeah. It seems there's at least some overlap. If they're two different thoughts, we can either put them in one sentence or break them into two. There's two statements. Whatever. What do you all think?
Yeah.
Fundraising is the development and investment, and it's where you have go out and bring the money in. Executing revenue generating programs would be, you've gone somewhere else, you've gotten some programs that are generating revenue, which is different than the advancement and development component.
Right, you said,
in my mind.
you said generating revenue in both of them, so that smells like it.
So can we go back to the way you put it and read out economic development? I thought that was really the way that you said the statement you just said. It's to try to emphasize and some of the development. But didn't you say demonstrated track record or demonstrated success in fundraising?
Revenue generation, fundraising, I said economic development, someone said institutional development.
Well, can you change it to this demonstrated success in fundraising and developing and implementing revenue generating programs? Those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't one sentence because it will bring in money in different ways.
I just understood there was a third point that you were meant too.
So maybe we're getting too detailed. This is what we're going to want from the candidates to tell us what options they have if we just present a question that is general as you combine two elements, and then let them sort it out and tell us what they would be doing for the institution. I think that's what we need to be looking for is the answer, not the question. Sorry.
No,
So what are you suggesting? The question that is presented by and just leave it at that. And when the question is asked, we can determine whether this person knows the difference between fundraising and revenue generating and economic, financial economic development for an institution. How do they break it down to be a comprehensive process as opposed to just selling cookies?
I think we should be gentle too, because if we're not wanting to close the door and we put economic development, they could easily say, well, I've got two of those on that one. I think that really.
So how about this? Demonstrated comprehensive revenue generation. Leave it open. The kinds of revenue.
Yeah, that's included. You cover just comprehensive, whatever's available.
And then you can put crazy sponsorship.
The umbrella professional for this is institutionalized. Okay, so this would be done by a vice president of institutional advancement if we have one. The problem with the phrase institutional advancement is that if someone is outside of higher education, it doesn't necessarily convey what people in that mean in that phrase.
Demonstrate success in institutional advancement, including revenue generation, fundraising, development. Does that mean?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Demonstrated success in institutional advancement such as revenue generation. Please say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Right. And that will replace both of those other lines. No trouble. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm truly.
ability to set, manage, and implement priorities. Improve the decision making, it's a little different, like, almost 3 o'clock. Anything on that one? Demonstrate ability in environment. Somewhere else. On the other page, we have presently energetic, self-starter, flexible, and be able to prioritize wants. So I don't know if we need both of those. You care?
It's okay, I think it's okay.
Leave it. Yeah. Okay. Demonstrate ability to quickly gain knowledge.
There's gotta be something.
I thought you did not be the right word.
Yeah, it might be the trends in higher education.
Higher industry.
Because it's an industry we're facing a lot of different challenges.
Yeah. Okay. Are we all through those now? Are there any additions to that list?
I just want to make sure that,
Market dynamics coming up. You're not gonna need market dynamics in the.
We're looking at market dynamics. We're saying higher ed issues and market dynamics. For higher ed.
Market and higher ed. That's what it would be.
Right.
I just wanted that we are pulling from personal qualifications, residential demonstrated skills.
Ability with a broad range of individuals.
That's going to go to professional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one thing, we did mention community back on the first page of key responsibilities, being an integral part of the community. But I don't see any other specific professional and personal anything that mentions the outreach and community building. I may be missing something, but I want to call something out specifically with partnerships and collaboration that we want them to show some demonstrated ability to do that.
The second one, maybe can we add it to the second one? Demonstrated experiences in collaborative leadership.
We changed that, we put in the collaborative leadership in here.
For
No,
Community.
specific community.
Demonstrated experience, it'd be nice to put related with a community. I think that's a component of this.
Well, under key abilities, question, the first paragraph there, President expected during also actively participating or you or something different.
To me, that's the only place it's mentioned, and maybe just me, but to actually be able to say, show some demonstrated in the past. This is only do this, but the tense is.
You want to use the application to be quiet.
I don't know. That's just my thought.
And I think I understand what you're saying, for if I were in the interview process, if I were interviewing the prospective president, I would want to see how they relate to the superintendent, how they, president of the other towns in the state, chamber of commerce, you know, those kinds of things, right? That's,
Yeah, okay.
And we don't have that specifically, and so,
Right.
but
Give me some, suggest something and we'll slice it.
It's being a little written, but demonstrate experience with collaborative agreements or arrangements with
demonstrate experience to, like that.
involvement with community leaders and our.
Demonstrated ability, sorry. Well, demonstrated ability to develop and maintain
And they're developing relationships such as,
Community leaders.
yeah.
State, stakeholders.
Okay.
Stakeholders and organizations.
Yeah.
We looked at health with other organizations like that.
Demonstrate ability to develop and maintain with community stakeholders.
To in front of relationships.
Oh,
That's
and
true.
collaborative. Demonstrate ability to develop and maintain collaborative.
Any in groups and leaders if still too broad. Community leaders.
I think those people, but it's exclusive, so I kind of like the idea. Because if we start naming them, they have to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. All right. All right. Education. The state that began work. Well, the Dan Ritchie example is, and I think Leroy Brown. It's just leave the door open at this point.
Does that make us in some way look, feel like, geez, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
So,
It's almost as if we're not valuing what we do. It's, I think can often say, it's not to count these folks again at first. There's examples from industry into higher ed. As many up through higher ed and must possess an advanced degree. I'm like, wow. I mean, I don't know. It's just me. I don't want to hear
Probably be in like PhD. But even if you don't say prefer. Alternative for being, a variety of things.
You have to give me an example.
Yeah. Institute preferred but not required. Too narrow.
Well, it's just something to say, here we are. Some things.
Saying certain degree is preferred means we like everything else. The terminal degree is acceptable. It all is, still needs stars on there.
Yes.
There's someone on the phone trying to do something, I don't know.
I'm just trying to understand the whole degree, is that what you're trying to do? Did I hear this correct?
Must possess an advanced degree, degree preferred, or that idea.
Terminal degree, if you put in anything the way it is now, you will automatically eliminate anybody outside of academia. Because it's going to connotate anybody else to be a to hidden work. So
terminal preferred.
But not required, is that?
Yeah, no, I think that the word, I mean, I think when you, again, we back and forth on this, not just I, but with Paul. If you want to have an inclusive recruiting process, the bigger you are on the education, the more that you're going to be interested, preferred, whatever, it's going to start making the list.
Well, I think
Because that's how it's going to be interpreted by other people. We don't know how others are going to interpret it.
Western's current president is not an academic, correct? He's not, doesn't have a terminal degree in my,
Now, those are different things. He has a terminal degree, has a PhD.
Okay.
He's not an academic.
Okay, so he does, okay, that's what. They have that wording and eliminated someone who's not.
Yeah, okay, well, I'm trying to understand, a terminal degree preferred, a lot of people might say, oh, well, they're really saying I'm not getting play.
Yeah.
Not required. I think we're making it pretty clear that it's not required and it's not a deal breaker. Are you saying that people, intelligent people,
How it's going to be interpreted, I guess that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, people that figure that out, know those things.
And that they might read between the lines. You just don't. You guys, it's your job announcement. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm just saying, you know how it's, that's what you have to understand. People are going to do terrible. And so the more words there heard or somebody in their own way, good or bad, right or wrong. You're right, it's very
Okay, thanks. What percent of jobs do you believe for this category of presidents of colleges in which use that language must as advanced degree?
I'll take that question.
I couldn't hear it, so I can't. I'd be happy to take it, but I can't hear it.
Job search for university college presidents who all use as that's an advanced degree. Is that 90% of the job searches, or? What percentage of the searches that you do use this language, must possess an advanced degree when we're talking about college or university presidents?
Use the language must possess advanced degree in the context of a college or university presidential search.
What percentages of them?
Yeah.
I would say that within consumer life, I'll make two comments. First of all, in the 5 years, I don't have actual data with me, but there's been fewer must-have education requirements, and have been more across the board, whether academic or other, more what I call non-traditional candidates in that particular industry. So net, people are going to be open as possible to get a broader candidate announcement to reflect that. And that, so less and less prefer that kind of thing.
I'm reading Northwestern. Those who can earn doctorate and having a background in higher education administration are preferred. Northwestern, I think now,
She's
August
reading,
1st. It's due at deadline. On
yeah, there's a pending announcement from Northwestern University as preferred.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not trying to talk to you guys about it. I'm just playing the devil's advocate because I'm just thinking, you want an array of candidates, you have to understand they're going to read it. They're on right or wrong or good or bad.
I understand. Start with, if we are clear, it's not, we specify, it is not required.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Always appreciate that answer.
phone call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not advocating for one this year, just to kind of give a different context. You, as well as those Chinese customers are not required. What are they or not?
I think, I don't know if that's an apples to apples. I know what you're saying, but I'll say this. If I had a couple of years of Chinese, it wouldn't necessarily make me not fly. If I had no Chinese, that is, maybe no advanced degree, maybe I wouldn't apply.
Most of these applications that she's looking at right now say that.
And just generally looking at the University of Southwest, I would say we accommodate it and more of it on us to be a little but I think we will, you know, you know, a lot of this.
We're going to do look at candidates who may not have that terminal degree, who we think can bring something to the substitution. And I think to make these species people learn to have a terminal degree.
I agree.
I see nodding heads. Any disagree with that? Anyone? All right, and we will say must present an advanced degree, period. Terminal degree preferred, but not required, period.
Oh, I might have tried to that's doing and just say last part.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So when we were asked on that, we enact a voting system degree at all.
Yeah, that's why that's.
No, I just want to be clear, because I thought we were trying to set the bar higher.
I think we are.
And so, you know, we're not requiring any degree, prefer terminal, but we actually require anything.
I think it implies that there will be a degree.
Yes.
Including the status there.
Because we all are confident in that.
So what is it going to mean?
Well, what I'm saying, what I think she's saying.
What do you think she's saying?
Well, I think she is saying she's right, that must make degree. I believe that. Then the next sentence would be terminal preferred but not required.
And that's all you need, that terminal degree.
Okay, I just in one sense, that's sort of opening the door even bigger.
But they won't make it through the door.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
They will make it through.
Okay. Terminal degree required. And you will call me out from my direct hope and the humility. As you actively search people, you can explain to them what this discussion was, and that, hey, you got an answer, but it's actual cash, put your name in. Right? Your position to convey our intention here to potential candidates, right? Do we have that?
And you don't even have money, no education registered, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the animated higher education thinker versus the multi-billionaire. We will go with the multi-billionaire, and that will say tons about that.
We're not going to go for multi-degree.
Right. That's what we got to make sure that we do, absolutely.
But I guess what I'm saying, you guys, I apologize. My point is that they can pay somebody who otherwise cut his own bases, they don't have a terminal degree. Yeah, you know, they will get seriously considered. They should.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
Thank you, Mary.
Hey, guys.
Mr. Petros.
You'll make it to the office.
I am, sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, because we're running long. Let me suggest for your bullet, if I've been thinking about it in between everything else. The president must be approachable and engaging with students. Hello?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm hoping that I typed it on. And of course, I'll need your guys' chat. But I did is I typed that the president should be approachable and accessible by students during their careers. The president can actively ensure that avenues of opportunity are continuously developed through partnerships and networking during the tenure.
I think that's tough. Can you boil it down?
Too much.
I think it needs to be a short, snappy statement.
Okay, let's just go with the first part. The president should be approachable and accessible by students during their collegiate careers.
Acceptable by? You like that better than engaging with?
Accessible.
Accessible, I'm sorry, was it accessible or acceptable?
Accessible.
Accessible, got it.
Yeah.
Accessible to students.
During their collegiate careers.
You're saying during their collegiate careers.
Correct. How does that sound to the rest of
I don't know if we need to bring the
Yeah, I think there's some hesitation on whether during their collegiate careers they add much to it.
Okay. We can always remove that.
If it's accessible to students, isn't that the nub of it? Isn't that really the gist of what you're trying to get at?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. Is there anything else on this to the order? Now, I could read that whole thing.
I think we can agree with this.
All right, so proceeding forward on this, you tell me to go on the draft out, ready to look at it. Just want to make sure everybody's comfortable with how it is.
Let's read it over just in case something is here.
All right, let's do this. I'll put something together. I'll shoot it out, I hope tomorrow. Turn it around as quickly as you can. If I don't close the business, we're going to go. Okay? Yes, thank you very much.
I just appointed at the end on compensation. It says performance-based bonus. And I just have an issue with that since we're a public institution. How does that enter into the salary package? I don't know how you award a bonus to a president or a public.
Well, the board of trustees do the contract or multi-contract, but we can set that next.
So for example, we award bonuses to coaches. So if you are a national year or you win a national championship, there is a bonus that may be written into your contract. All coaches have that in their contract.
So we could write in.
So it's
Something
certainly
for retention rate, you
I'm
know?
not saying whether we should.
The percentage of students continue the second year, you know, we can create all kinds of incentives. Give that performance. Yeah, great. You know, I can see those things on financial development. I'll give you examples.
Is it too presumptuous to say performance-based bonus? I mean, is that for sure you want to be in there? Or is that still a question that board trustees or something?
Well, some really trust that here.
I think it should be a performance-based, otherwise we end up having, you know, or the VA is having, that everybody got a bonus, regardless of what they were.
Jessica, are you still there? Yes?
I'm here.
Okay. In terms of the compensation provisions, I know they've kept that higher over the past few years. Performance-based bonuses, as we get it there, is that creating any kind of problems? Is that all right?
Well, we have to be careful. It's the state law as it is with federal regulation. Anything that looks like it's like oh God, what is it called? I'm trying to speak the word. Commission or anything along those lines could get us in trouble.
Yeah.
So we do need to be careful with how we do it.
Yeah, but as stated here, that doesn't imply that necessarily.
No, not the way it is right now.
All right.
I think we're okay with that.
I also wanted to ask, when you say base salary, does that limit or keep the doors open for candidates? Because say I'm looking for a job and it says that, I kind of want to know specifics, or, I mean, is that why you all came up with that, to be direct the firm to say that, or in your experience, does that leave the door open more?
Base salary commensurate with this experience and benefits package. And Hope, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I can't hear everything, but yes.
Okay, the question was base salary commensurate with experience and benefits package. That basically, correct me if I'm wrong, that basically says that based on the person's experience, based on the person's experience, the salary can get commensurate.
We're gonna pay a market salary.
Yes. It's leaving it open for discussion, and actually in the first conversation that we have with the candidate, if they pass, we phone screen and we ask them exactly what their compensation is, not what do you want, what you wish, what you think that this should be, what is your compensation, and we break it down. And so we will go back to Paul or whoever and say, here's this person's compensation. If it's higher, they let us know. But continue if it's we have those discussions early on. But it's to your advantage to not put any specific number in here, because again, it will eliminate candidates.
So, sorry, that's maybe beating a dead horse, but are we comfortable, maybe this is my perception, but saying there's a performance-based bonus, are we for sure okay with saying there will be one, or is there a time where there may not be a performance-based bonus, and it's just going to be the base value that this person gets? I mean, we're guaranteeing them a performance-based bonus of some sort.
And we have a performance incentives to structure how we want to.
Yes, flexibility back in there.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, that works.
All right, we done with this? I'm afraid we're way over. Kevin, can you do your piece?
And this was something that, real quick background. So we did the campus roundtable where we invited everyone, went through a process, get feedback. And we were kind of discussing, as the faculty staff group on this committee discussing, we were thinking, you know, this has been really helpful for us to get the survey responses from our kind of campus constituents. Would it be beneficial to do a similar format to the community at large? And maybe you reach out to leaders, the hospital, health, other places, and try to, if for no other reason than to help us understand those people that we represent, not only in that state, but to understand what's important to them as we begin to gear up for evaluating candidates and what's important to the larger community. So the thought was, could we host an event here? We got a facility, how we did this first one. Would it be beneficial? I didn't want to step on what the community members do this. Maybe you're doing already, but we thought there was value in at least having a discussion with community leaders, reaching out to them, letting them know we want to at least understand what their pressure points are. So it was just a kind of discussion that came instead of to bring it up here.
And so I guess Mike, and we did exchange a little bit on email on this. My concern is, what's our purpose here? If it's simply for us as members of the community to hear from people, since I guess that we've now established what the position announcement is going to be, it's going to be, all right, with that announcement, these are the things we want you to think about. There's probably some value in that, though we've already put in the announcement what we intend to think about. So I want to know how those two together. The bigger concern I have is if any of us are there, there's going to be all kinds of pressure to hold forward. What do you think about this? What's the committee think? You know, we start down that road. And I don't want to send a message to any potential applicants that, you know, we're talking. So that's my concern. So it's almost, you want to have this, Ray, have somebody else chair it, run the thing, and then communicate. You know, by the way, like the last survey was done. When did it, we received that information. We weren't called upon to engage on it. So that's my only concern. I don't know if that makes it a less useful exercise.
Well, I think it does have some impact as an exercise because we are thinking, as we speak today, that the community may, or we are quite certain that the community would like to be part of this process and be part of the university and those kind of things. It would definitely help us establish that, some basis for establishing that. Right now, we're just thinking he wishes to be part of this process, and then it could, you know, bring that. Yes, we are interested, and this is how we would like to be involved.
Yeah, but, I mean, we have established now a position announcement. So if someone wants to stand up and say, well, I think you missed something, okay, but we haven't now told people that's part of the, you know what I'm saying? I'm just concerned about that.
We can also target the questions differently. Once we have a president, you know, what kind of relationships and partnerships are you looking for?
Because, and this is a question, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I'm assuming the next part, at least on search funding on, we still need to develop what questions we're going to ask in formal interviews, how we're going to assess candidate A versus candidate B, and we can still probably generate some ideas on what we use as our criteria from this discussion as well. I mean, to me, I think being very clear to the community members to say, no, we're not asking you to write the job description and tell us what this person will do, but we're curious from the outside looking in, what's important to you, what issues do you see that we may not see, so that when we're having these candidates give us their overviews about how they think about the community of us, that's important to us.
Well, maybe that's the track then, is once we get this published in the next couple of days, that ask people to react to that and say, based on this, what kinds of questions do you think would be helpful? That might be very useful. I remind everybody, you know, everybody in the world that we have a webpage and an email where we have been soliciting input for the past several months on the process. I received all 2 emails. And I responded to them. People, I've had someone come in, the committee's looking at X, and I wrote back and said, you know, absolutely, you know. And so, if you want to create a survey document, we can do that. Or you can also tell people just give their suggestions, you know.
Well, the other thing I want to add is that Carlos said, I forget how many people you talked to. You had one-on-one 30-minute conversations with all types of people around campus, stakeholders which solicited their input on thoughts, and et cetera. So,
I agree, but I think this might be sort of the next phase, which is now that we've got all that established, how do we go as a committee ferreting that out when we look at applications? And maybe you, because of your process, you've already got that in your back pocket. Well, this is how we go about doing that. I guess sitting here, we're all doing that sitting here. So,
yeah, we do actually, we didn't in this right now, but we do actually have processes, questions, tools, evaluation tools that we tailor for each client that we're happy to share with you. Obviously not today, because I know everybody's pretty tired, but we're more than happy to talk about those. We have some questions that we've used committee questions that we've used over and over and over again with various institutions, various cultures that pretty much across the board people said, wow, these are really just the kind of questions that we want to ask. Not to say that they can't be changed. I'm just saying that yes, we do have probably all those tools in our back pocket.
And I think that's something that would be helpful to have you all plan on when we meet in August, which, because also the meeting will probably get our first batch of names. I think we need to open that meeting with you all going over all that. And which things you can send us ahead of time, so we'd be reading and thinking about it. That would be helpful too.
Okay. We can do that.
All right.
Yeah, I have all kinds of things that we can do, yes.
Okay. We're coming back around to Kevin's threshold question. What kind of guidance can we give on this? I don't want to say people shouldn't get together and talk. I'm just trying to think of how the best way to funnel that. I guess I come back to have an email, you know.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I think in the community at large, people don't follow things online who have a certain age. And the college is important to them, their parents and grandparents of potential students, and Adams State is a big part of their lives. And by what, what Kevin and Michelle addressed, that change the focus, have an open forum where people can come, and we might only get 10 people, but we can put something in the Valley Courier that says, come, we want you to, we value that.
Who's going to run this meeting?
That's what we're
We
thinking.
can take note if you feel that it's probably better for us not to run the meeting. I think we've got a CLO group that has experience with facilitating these roundtables, and I think we could arrange for them to do that.
I'd be
I think
happy
it's a PR thing also. I think it's just a nice gesture.
I'm not discounting it, I'm trying to think a couple of steps ahead, you know, because I could see being in a meeting, well, what do you think? I can't tell you. It creates that. Doesn't mean that none of us are up to that, but it creates that awkwardness.
I think we can certainly plan a group to do it.
Yeah, and if you want to turn over and say, do this, and then create a spreadsheet or charts or however you want a narrative.
And we just get something that helps us be guided a little bit in what's important to our community.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that. I just don't want to put us in an awkward spot.
For sure.
But I think.
Oh, I was gonna say, are you talking valley-wide?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Watch.
I mean, one idea we had in that small group was even reaching out to leaders of working in the hospital, Trinidad State, I don't know, whatever makes sense. Economic development in all those areas and invite people directly.
That's right.
I mean, do as much for PR as good collaborative partnerships. We want to set the tone.
I just think it's really important that the goals of that meeting are clear from the beginning, otherwise people will come away being dissatisfied thinking, well, I thought they wanted my input, but they've already got the job description, the train's already left the station, so what do they want my input for? We need to make sure that it's formatted in a way that the goals are clear for what this is about, because I can easily see it devolving into, well, this is what I think we need in the president, this is what I want. I've already done that. So.
Yeah, well, there's a reason we're constituted the way we are, and how to bring those places to begin with, right? I mean, as best we can, and so make it manageable. So, yeah, we need to make sure it's clear what they're there to do and what they're not there to do. So,
I think that's part of the knowledge of the culture of the Valley, that not disrespectfully, that we have that you don't have as a new member, and
I didn't volunteer for this deal.
no, and I'm not being disrespectful, but I think we've all, like Kevin's grown up here, I've been here 30 years, most people in the room, Patty's been here, I think you gentlemen are natives. It's a little different, and by being invited to the table that way, it's huge.
I don't disagree on this. I don't think it's going to compromise our.
And maybe we just say, come to find out where we are in the process.
Yes.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And as part of that, we want to get feedback on issues that are concerning to you. Like, we lead heavy with, here's where we are, we've already gotten this point, we're looking for candidates on such and such time frame. And cut that off and don't even let them speculate that the train's already left and we're just doing it for show.
I think there's a third party, by all means, and give them our, do this for us, so that we get the input, just so people understand.
Well, I'll be giving this position announcement to every member on the foundation board. And on that board, you have 25 members of the community. You have all 4 banks represented. You have alumni represented. You have retired people represented. These people, I think, are gonna be sharp enough, if they see something they want done, we will hear about it. And I will listen to it and give it to you guys. Especially,
Do you see that in addition to, or place a, COE?
no, I'm just gonna send this and then.
Yeah, I'm just like, are these two different things we're talking about now, or are we saying, are you suggesting this?
Oh, no, if they want, if that's gonna be a process, so this is just something I'm gonna do.
All right, so are you all, it sounds like you all are taking point on this, or you all, just someone will communicate with me this week, and kind of just let me know the direction. And if you have any questions about exactly, if you get questions, or what are we doing, what we're not, how do we say it, how do we know? Right. We good for today? I know it's been a long day. I do appreciate your time. All right. The next meeting, unless something comes up, and I'm planning on the next meeting being at the end of August. The board meeting, we're meeting like Thursday and Friday. And it's a Thursday afternoon and all day Friday, or do you recall?
All day Thursday, half day Friday.
So Friday afternoon is open. So we might do this Friday afternoon, the last Friday in August, which we have that. Sorry.
Fridays are not good days for me.
I'm sorry? Yeah, it helps me to do it earlier in the afternoon because of travel. If you're saying that's not good. Right. Someday they don't need to work that day. All right, so Friday afternoon, will not work for you?
If it's around 2 o'clock, 2 or 3, in a couple hours, I just try to make it work, but it's not easy.
Anybody else have an issue on Friday afternoon?
So that's okay.
Let me just throw out, would a Wednesday evening work?
Paul will cook dinner.
Wednesday evening will work for me.
Wednesday evening. I'm just spending a lot of time away from the office. All right. I'll be in contact and see if we can try to take it for best. Anything else? Thank you. Yes.
Quick question. The compensation was breaking out a little bit. What was the time result on the learning performance aid initiative?
Final wording for what?
For the performance-based initiative?
Performance-based incentives.
Okay, can you still say words, it's not like a possibility, or just performance-based initiatives?
Incentives. Incentives.
Okay, well, that's a good idea, so no problem.
All right.
Oh, and also, one other thing I would add, something here, we could indicate that it's FLSA exam, just to put it in there.
I'm not understanding what you're saying.
If we could put in here someplace to clarify that it's a non-classified FLSA exempt position.
Oh, non-classified.
Oh, non-classified exempt?
Yes, non-classified FLSA exempt.
Okay. Email me exactly what you wanted to say, we'll tag that at the end.
Okay.
But actually, while you're at it, email me, the standard language you'd like us to include about, where, we're an equal opportunity employer, do not discriminate, et cetera, right? Okay, I just want to make sure we got all this in order. Thank you.
Sure.
Let's do this.